They're talking about the animals and presents. Same shit. We've heard this a million times. Even when I was a kid, they actually talked about that. But I want to talk about milking, right? How does the government work with bad guys to get outcomes, or rich people to get outcomes, to milk? Means get as much as you can without them really noticing, and then do these other steps like you care. Right? Well, what you do is you have pet shops, right? That has, like when I was younger, and it stayed the way, lots of animals to choose from and stuff like that. Right? After wars and that, best way to do it too. And it takes 10 to 20 years. It's milking time. Right? And it repeats, you see it. To get the best out of everything. So the most out of criminals. So you let criminals get away because behind the scenes their cops are getting paid and allow things to continue, loopholes to continue. Oh, I didn't do it, I didn't know, kind of thing, so it can continue. That's what you see in history. That's why things continue. When you want to debate about it, I can happily do it. Right? And so what they do is they milk all areas. This main milker, which has got 90% of the world's money, this group, they're main milkers. They're business. Right? And business and the best businesses, as they talk about that, people know how to milk the best. Get the best out of the situation. Right? And what they do is they allow bad guys to do their thing because they get paid behind the scenes. We've got movies all about. Huh? This is how it functions. Because without this function, it wouldn't function. Right? That's why I said I'm happy to debate about it. I go, how does it function without this? This is what we're going to talk about. Right? That's really realistic. Because don't forget, I'm realistic, and if you go to hit me with something, I'm going to hit you again with something. Come on. Right? So make sure the debates are real. So tell me if this is wrong. And I got this wrong looking back in history. So what they do is they work with the bad guys. Talked about this in history. And they let these companies after a while go good. Everyone's going good. Everyone look good. Now they've got to a point where everyone's actually going to thrive and that and be more balanced. And we can't have that. You get to a point where they're just getting there. How I've talked about, I'm just getting somewhere. And then next minute something. So how does that happen? So you get the bad guys come in. Like I said, they pay terrorists. People get paid. It can happen. It does happen. So this is what you got to do on this plan. And you get bad guys to do these things. Right? You get the bad guys to start selling dogs. And the most high commodity of the pet shop, if you can. Right? Behind the scenes. So it's harder for the pet shops and stuff. Right? That's what happens when you start to get more competition. And these people just regular phone. Stuff like that. You start selling rats. Start selling cats. And you'll see these things that the people start selling. And this group, the other business go down. Right? They're doing it in America, the bad guys now. There's pretty much the same trick, but in another way as they upgrade, but pretty much do the same thing. Steal them and sell it right in their face. Which is what the rich people do in the end with all the money when they come back. After taking everything from you, milk and and what they do is they do that to the pet shop. And the pet shop don't know. And they make it look like they're not the dude. The one in the background, you don't know this, but this is what's going on. And he's even paying for the prime ministers and stuff. They can get that far. If you can do that, you'd be the best milker. You've got to get that far. I'm talking about the best businessman. And he'll talk about all the people who make all the money. This is how you do it. And they get jealous. Hey, I'll talk about how some leaders could get jealous that other countries get away with things. Why wouldn't you? I would. You'd be pissed. That's why we want to stop these things. But then we can't. So you should get jealous then. Because they get what they want. No wonder they're doing it. You know what I mean? No one can stop North Korea later. Well, fucking no wonder. He's like he's the dude I was talking about before. And he shot that dude and he told his kids to go there. And so what they do is they get to a point where they've milked it. So they let these people do these things and that goes out of control. Not even totally controlled. So some people get their own thing and go, oh, I was never part of that system. But there will be a group that got really good at it and got in that system while that was happening. It's like, come in, if everyone's robbing, I'm going to rob that jewelry there. And no one's really going to know. You know what I mean? Because I'll get the best. And everyone will get the blame because they're all in there robbing. But I started it so I can get that jewelry there. All right? You smart enough to get that? Because if you're not, you'll never get that far. I guess you're going to have to get more education or get to know someone who's willing to just do education for you for free and let you have things. And they'd be nice to you. Huh? They might like you. Right? And so what they do after that, and they've milked it that far, you'll start to hear things on TV about, we better get on to it. Even though they've talked about it every now and then, like they talk about, we know marijuana should be legal. 20 years ago. Perhaps in 10 years we'll have it. We'll have a good research 10 years later. We know this, but perhaps 10 years later, that's how they divert things. So they keep, and they send someone else to go say it. And then the other person go. This is also part of the same upper high do plan. It's pretty easy actually once you get the education. You just look at the sheet now. That's why we get older and be an adult. You get it? What's an adult? Getting older? No, we try to tell that to people and they believe that too. But it's actually education. That's why there's some tribes out there that class adults as a person who passes a certain test of education. Braveness, heart, education, priorities, right? And the kid passes the test, goes out, hunts. You prove all these things and you're a man then. Once you get to there, you're a man. That's how we work. And people get there at all certain stages and they have a time to go do this test every year. That could be your year if you think you're ready, right? And you can go be man. I think it's pretty damn cool. The way they do things is pretty damn barbaric and stupid. But the way they set it up is pretty cool because if you got it right, it could actually work pretty good. And it works for them in their barbaric ways. They don't mind doing it that way, right? And as long as they don't mind jumping off with a rope on their foot and hit the ground hard, and it can break their neck and legs. But most of the time they're all right and it toughens them up. That's what they do. That's one of the tests of what they do, right? And besides putting your hand in ants and stuff like that. Anyway, back to the milking. So what they do is they stop it. And then they allow these businesses to thrive again. Because without stopping, when you nearly got them out, otherwise you're going to kill it. So you got to let it thrive again. So you stop all the laws for once, right? You get it right, like we've talked about. We get laws right. And why do they go? Why do we always have to fight for the same shit? Because of this trick. You get it? All right? And then they allow you, make it look good. I'm the bad guy, I'm being good. Like the kid. I'm being good, I'm a good guy. All right? Wait till you find out later. And then when you have to join our team, all right, that it's going to go bust soon. Nothing lasts here in this way of business. That's how you milk. And you let the business thrive again to a certain point where they're going good and they can hang on a bit. And then you come in and start to milk them where they've got to work harder and it's going to go down and they're going to get some money now, so you milk them. And the one that does all the tricks and tells all the ideas, they're the one that just does nothing. It's the devil. That's sits back and, I love being smart over these people. I love showing them, repeat and keeping them there because it does this better. All right? Everyone, this is the businessman everyone loves to be. Own a business and do nothing. They will own nothing and do everything. It's fucking gross. And then the circle starts again. Oh, and then they bring in the bad guys. You'll see the circle. Go back in history. If you can manage to see enough of that education. With education to see that. So you need a lot of education to put things together sometimes. You just don't see. You think you see, but you don't. It's like people reading a book and going, oh yeah, explain the feeling of being out in the jungle. I get it. No, I wouldn't want to go there or anything. I get it, or I can live. And you go there and you find out it's totally different. Some people think they don't like things or wouldn't like something, then they do it and they find out they do. Because they assumed wrong. Right? That's why Indiana Jones goes, you've got to get out of the library. Right? But anyway, you let me know how business milks then and what is an successful businessman. What I just said, wouldn't they just call me a successful businessman if I can get that to happen? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. And have a good one.